Come. Okay. All right. So I figured I'd get up with Wu. And we'll do the thing, you know. She needs to exercise. I guess I could use the morning, hurrah. Xiao Wu, baby. We're still working on pulling because she's definitely on that. Uh, but in time. So I don't know. I'm definitely, of the space of mind this morning after getting yesterday's videos done. I guess the past couple of days in a space of like, you know, okay, I'm gonna do this. Come. And it's like, well, what exactly is this? Xiao Wu, come. Um, I don't know. I still don't know, and I think that's a part of it. I think I want to work on being okay, not knowing. Good girl. Me take care of it. All right. So we did that. Um, but yeah, just being okay, not knowing, um, and working through that. What does that mean? What does that look like? You know, and I guess on a certain level, taking time. And honestly, I think Xiao Wu helps with that. Again, full transparency, not the mug, baby. Full transparency, not my first dog. I actually have another dog, but she's an elder. Can't really do the road life thing. And this little mongrel, woo, is a spark and bundle of life. Is definitely is definitely a ball of energy, and we're working through that. But I think she also kind of centers me in the sense of, it's gonna sound wild, but like, what does she know? You know, not much. 5 months out here, you know what I'm saying? As compared to my 27. But I think it's just like with a child, you know, giving grace and patience because she don't know anything. And so since I'm in this space of like not knowing anything myself, of like, this leg of the journey that I'm on, being okay with that. Um, yeah, being okay with that. And I think that's important. What's important is not losing that childlike innocence that growing up, quote unquote, can bring, right? Because quite honestly, there's no such thing as an adult, like a grown up. We're all just children. And that can be explained in so many different ways, but like, it also makes it easier dealing with people, recognizing that people are just children who got older. So all the traumas that they had as a kid, it's manifested into being who they are. And that goes for anybody and everybody, even, myself, like everybody. I think it's just important to remember when it comes to understanding yourself, understanding people, and giving grace, you know, giving grace to yourself. Um, because it's hard, you know, this life thing. But really, being patient with the journey, being patient with yourself, you know? Like right now, Wu is sniffing grass, right? um and granted, like I know why. You know what I mean? Like I get it. Other dogs have been here, or I've never smelled this type of grass, or what is this bush? What animal is here? All of those things, with that curiosity, that innate curiosity to check it out, and to give yourself time to check it out. Because I think a part of the whole adulting thing is we get to a space of I don't have time. I don't have time to do that. I don't have time to go there. I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time. But the reality is, you do have time. You have just enough time. You have all the time in the world in terms of same 24 hours anybody else does. It's just, how do you manage that? How do you prioritize that? And I guess that leads into, like, we tend to allow our trauma to dictate how we spend that time. And I think a lot of times it can be very much so self conscious, or subconscious rather, just kind of feeding that beast of insecurity to feel secure. But if you don't recognize it as a problem, that, like, the concept of adulting or growing up is kind of ruining your childlike innocence that you're trying to protect, ultimately, doing the shadow work and being there for your child you, I think that could be disastrous. And I think that plays into why we are so at odds ends with ourselves and with society. And I guess a beautiful analogy of that is like, yeah, I'm doing my best to stabilize this camera and, like, be present and, like, talk. But, like, Xiao Wu is just going ham. And it's a constant tug and a constant battle, right? Can't be mad at her. She doesn't know any better. And we're working on it. But, like, also, man, is it tiring. It's cold out. My fingers hurt. Bundle of energy. Sit. She's a smart girl. She knows. She's very curious. Sit. Good girl. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's a piece for I think that's a piece for this morning of, whoa, my girl. My girl. Whoa. Oof. I think that's a piece for this morning of just doing your best to take time, accepting you won't have all the answers, and being okay with that for yourself. It's okay to not have the answers. It's okay to try something new. It's okay to fail. Don't let the tug of life get you down and so downtrodden that you forget how beautiful things can be, how beautiful things are. It's just a matter of perspective. Yeah, perspective. I'm gonna try and focus on this walk with her, and I'm sure I'll tap back in. I don't know. I thought I was gonna do this, maybe one video a week thing, but honestly, I could see it becoming more than that. I'll leave it at that. Yeah.
Okay. So midday, maybe around noon ish. I don't know. Really in a mood today, like a good one. And I guess on that theme of like not knowing, like what do I mean by that? Well, I've known forever, or I guess as far back as I can recall, I didn't want to be a part of this system that we have. I don't want to just live to work. I want to live a full life. And I've struggled to share with others what that full life looks like, and maybe even struggled with being honest with myself about what a full life could look like. Um, and I guess that's something that's really pivotal right now, if you guys couldn't tell, is just being honest about that. And so I implore anybody who is in that space to give yourself that time, to give yourself that grace, to give yourself that understanding. Like I spoke about earlier, you're a child. You know, protect that inner child at the very least if you can't accept that you are a child. Um, that you can be anything that you want to be. And I don't mean that in a facetious way of like, you can be the first rock star astronaut. You know what I mean? Like, no, I mean, like, if you want to be the best pottery maker, or the best potter, is it clay maker? Clay maker, clay sculptor, right? If you want to be the best, whatever, underwater basket weaver. We make jokes about that of like, oh, you went and got a degree in that. I'm like, I guess on a certain level, I agree. You don't need a degree to do you to the best degree. You know, just I feel like one of those people that's saying like, if I can do it, you can do it, right? And I guess it really is that. So many people have told me time and time again, well, why don't you go do the things you inspire people to do? Why don't you? Why don't you? Why don't you? And I guess I've always been the type of person that's like, I play the backfield. From like my graphic design and web development business, I play the backfield. How can I make you shine? And even in the film industry, I work behind the camera. Never had the vision to be in front of the camera. Like, this is weird for me. Being in front of the camera, not talking to the camera, not being present, just like, oh, I'm gonna put myself out there to be front and center, you know. But if I can do it, if I can take a chance at something that I'm uncomfortable with, and not because I feel like it's wrong, just because I have a weird thing about influence, about being influential, and like I'm hyper aware personally of what influence can do. If I can take a step outside of myself, I think anyone can. And I guess that's me imploring someone who comes across this to take a chance on yourself. Be patient with yourself. Love yourself more. Do more for you. And if that's selfish, then so be it. I hope that that selfishness doesn't lead to ruin, you know, because I struggle with many things, and I'll come to share those things. I struggle with many things. Like every other person, I have addictions, I have flaws. And I don't give into this nature of, I guess, wanting to destroy myself ultimately. You know, the procrastinative nature, or you know, the um, disassociating nature, or those things. And I don't really proclaim that anybody do that same thing, or to do that, you know. I just mean that, you know, I watched a video recently, and it was just saying, you know, basically give yourself permission to do the things you know you want to do the things that are good for you, right? Because a lot of times we can have these preconceived notions or built up barriers of, because someone told you, now you don't want to do it, or because you know it's best for you, you don't want to do it. And I don't mean that in the sense of the things that you have been told, right? Because for me, I truly have a gut feeling of, that's not best for me, that's not good for me, you know. And it just so happens I sit in a space where I I can't go do the 9 to 5 thing. And to be, you know, here and present and honest, it makes me feel fragile. It makes me feel ashamed and embarrassed. And it's not me, right? Like, it's this little society speaker. that lives in my head, that lives in all of our heads, and what I guess you could say is the societal programming. You know, that finger wag of like, this is what it means to be a man. This is what it means to be an American. This is what it means to be productive. This is what it means to be an adult. Like, that lives in my head too. It plays a minor role, and I'm aware of it. But I guess I look around and I notice that people don't notice it. They're not aware of it. It truly does feel like the burst of consciousness, and you look around and everyone's going in one direction, but you're the one questioning, why are we doing that? You know, and I know that there are so many psychological principles behind it all, and that on a certain level is by design. I guess I'm saying that if you came across this, if you're giving me your time, wake up. Stand up for yourself. And I don't mean like, you know, revolution, power to the people, which like that too, you know what I mean? But like, ask the question. Whatever that question is for you. For me right now is, what do I want and how do I get it? You know? I think that's a powerful thing to give yourself. And run with it. I am doing my very best to run with it. And I want to see that in more people. You know? I think the world would be a better place if that guy who's an accountant or who's a banker who works on Wall Street, because he's good at it and he's worked really hard at it, but that's not his passion. His passion is model train making. Spice it up. You know? Do that. Like, really do that. And I guess on that note, like, I notice people chasing the dollar. Like, this money is gonna make me happy. This money is gonna fulfill me. I'm not so sure that it will or that it does for anyone. Like, yes, money makes things easier. But I think it makes it easier because we live in a day and age where we no longer barter our skills and services as much as we sell ourselves. We whore ourselves out, honestly. In a system that we know is counterproductive. It's counterintuitive, you know. We know our time is worth more than cloth like paper. That our time is worth more than what is being valued at, but we have no way out. Or so we say, right? I hear that a lot from people. I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. Inaction is a choice. And that's the choice that I find that people often make. I have often made. Feeling stuck. But you're not. It's a feeling. And like every other feeling, you should internalize it, resonate with it, and let it go. Don't muddle in that feeling, because I think that feeling can become your existence, and you'll allow it to plant roots in your mind garden, you know. And I've explained this concept to people that, like, envision your mind when you're born as a fresh field, your own 40 acres. And throughout life, the people you encounter, school, the lessons you take in, the traumas you go through, plant seeds. Spores even. It's a whole ecological system, and it works in tandem, right? But just because a system works doesn't mean it is efficient. So you take on your parents' traumas. You take on your own doubts because of other people's traumas, or because of how you view people on social media, or because you feel like someone has something that makes them whole and you want that thing, so you chase that thing without ever really looking in yourself and saying, is that thing for me? What does that thing do? A lot of times I watch people seek external gratification for internal issues. And that ties it back to the shadow work. But to digress, this mind garden that you have, if you don't properly manage it and go through and de-weed it and sift the good from the bad, and that's relative. Good and bad don't exist. It's a pendulum, it's a scale, it's perspective. But for you, what is good and bad for you, if you don't tend to your own mental garden, what are you? You're an amalgamation of what someone made you. You're someone's Frankenstein's monster. The byproduct, right? Just another cog in the wheel. And I guess I don't want people to be that. And it's scary to feel like having an opinion such as that can then put a target on my back to be able to tell people just that. You know, you're worth more. You watching, you're worth more. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't believe that, your kids believe it. If you don't have kids, your pets believe it. If you don't have pets, your parents believe it. If you don't have parents in your life, I believe it about you, right? I don't know. That's just a whole thing, you know. No one, or I don't want to say no one, but just by and large, people aren't being honest with themselves and consequently with their loved ones and consequently with everyone beyond that. To the men out there, you don't need cars, clothes, material possessions to be valuable or to be valued. You are valuable. You are worth more. To the women out there, you are valuable. You are beautiful. You, as you were born. You don't have to change for anybody except you, if you truly want to change. And I think overall, I wish we could love ourselves more. To every person out there that fits on the spectrum, man, woman, in between, whatever you identify as, there's a lot of love that can be given to self. I want that for you and for myself. I want that for my kids that are unborn. You know, I've been in a space not being able to see my senior dog, right? Her name is Xena. She just turned 14 at the turn of February. And I've been in a space of, you know, like I've expressed, not being able to be around family because I've just been thinking in deep thought. Xena is my family, and I wasn't even able to be around her. And I think it's because I was ashamed. And that might sound crazy to some people. How can you be ashamed to be around your dog? Well, for me, I'm 27. She just turned 14. She's been in my life half my life. She's been there through some hard times. And she helped me get by some hard times. The days I couldn't shower, the days I couldn't brush my teeth, the days I didn't feel like doing anything. I had to get up to feed her. I had to get up to take her outside. I had to get that sunshine in for her. I had to do things for her. I was never alone because of her. And consequently, her existing made me a better person. And I guess I've been in a state of mind where I don't feel like I'm that person that she helped me to be. I feel like I didn't value those lessons that she gave me. I wasn't living up to that. And I think these videos are a start of me wanting to live up to that. And not only just her, right? I can point to my dog because I think that resonates to a lot of people. You know, your pet being your emotional support. Your pet seeing you as the best thing since sliced bread, you know. But I have a lot of friends that I feel the same way about. Appreciative of what they've poured into me, but just not feeling quite like I've maximized that. That's a heavy burden, to hold on to. And we live in a world where feelings don't really matter because they don't pay the bills. And we have such a fear that if I share my feelings, what will that make me? If I share my feelings or if I show people exactly who I am, will I be ostracized? Will they still love me? Will I be alone? I think that's just more of those inner demons or weeds in your mind garden. Give them space to love you. Give them space to care. Give yourself grace. Forgive yourself. These are very strong things to live by. Because for me, I do give grace to everybody. I do. Because what do we know? We're just children. Children raising children, raising children, We're all trying to make it. I don't know. I think that's the message for today. Give yourself grace. It's okay to love yourself more. That's going to be the theme going forward. It's okay to love yourself more. It's okay to take time for you and to figure it out. I think in the don't pause life fashion, it's okay. It's scary, but it's okay to unpause your life. Keep going. But actually live. Do that thing, that crazy thing. Do that thing. Yeah. And beyond that, it's a great message for me to get out. It's on my chest today. Feeling inspired. Hopeful. I got some meetings to go and attend to today. A couple of clients to talk to. Help them bring their dreams to life, to the best of my ability. I gotta go get groceries. It's Valentine's Day. So I hope you all are feeling loved and are able to show that love to others. But yeah, I'm gonna go do my day. Do some brainstorming, for this channel and another channel I guess I'll be getting up and going soon. Don't Pause Gaming. Give me something to do. I say something to do. I game. I I really game. Dual monitors, got the, mechanical keyboard. I game. I do that. You know what I'm saying? We ain't talking no Pac-Man. I game. But I don't know. The whole, I guess for me, I get so caught up. Don't click the stream button. Don't click the record button. But I want to do that now. I want to try and make an effort to do that. And I'm honest. It's interesting, right? How life can build on itself, because I think I've been gradually taking these grains of salt as life has progressed for me, and it's I can look back and maybe back in November I started screen recording while I'm doing graphics. I might post this, or even years ago when it was I'm a stream. I got OBS set up. I'm gonna do it. But just always ran into a roadblock of sorts, or so it felt like, right? But everything happens in its own time. So I'm in here, rolling with the punches, and to be open and honest, got you guys to hold me accountable. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for that. And it's interesting for me, right? Even if only one person views this, I appreciate you holding me accountable, right? Because we not alone in this. It get hard. Some days it's like, I don't know. I don't want to, right? But like, I don't know. Pushing through that, you know? Doing it for that person that looks forward to your presence and appreciating that and appreciating yourself and the presence you hold. You know what I'm saying? This your square, right? No one is at the longitude, latitude that you at, and that's uniquely you, right? So yeah, big energy, big ups today. Yeah, I think that's what I got. Yeah. As always, if you don't hear anything else from me, hope you're blessed. Hope you can unpause your life and live. Love yourself more. Give yourself grace. You're not alone. It's hard, but we got this. Yeah, we got this. I think it's like obligatory to say like, comment, subscribe. But that just feels weird. Feels performative for me. So I don't know. Thanks for watching if you made it this far. Yeah.